Ito, ìtumọ̀ ètò kan. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Gbogbo lólùfẹ́ rẹ̀ ń retí rẹ̀ dèjì. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Ẹ̀kú lóríṣiríṣi lẹ́ni kì í ṣèwé. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Kí lorúkọ ètò náà? Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó kọ́ ni lọ́gbọ́n. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Yàtúgbọ́ ètò lẹ́sọ̀ traditional wedding ó lọ lọ́wọ́. Ọ̀yá gídẹ̀. Kí lorúkọ ètò náà? Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó kọ́ ni lọ́gbọ́n. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Every Tuesday on Instagram. Every Tuesday on Facebook. 6 p.m. UK time. Every Tuesday on Facebook. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó fún mi lóye. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó fún mi lóye. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Thank you so much, everybody. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí, ẹ̀yin tèmi nílé lóko lẹ́yìn òde. Mo káralé, mo kérò ọ̀nà, mo kọ́kùnrin, mo kóbìnrin. Mo kọ́ ọmọdé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí àgbàlagbà wípé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí. Lórí ètò láwa, ètò wa, ètò yín, ètò kan náà tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí ètò ìgbéyàwó. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe wa lórí ètò yìí kó tó di pé aṣọ ohunkóhun. Ṣé ìpè yẹ kájúbà ọba àkọ́dáyé, ọba àṣẹ̀dá ọ̀run, ọba lánàá, ọba lẹ́yìn, ọba títí ayérayé kọrin kése, ẹlẹ́bùn orí ìkẹ́, ọba tó tó ní ipa tó kọ̀ tí ò pani tó jẹ́ pé ṣe ló ń pani mọ́, ọba títí ayérayé kọrin kése, ọba alágbádá iná, aláwọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ oòrùn, ọba ìyè, ọba ológo dídán, ọba ẹlẹ́rù nìyí, ọba tí a dágbére fún lọ́sẹ̀ tó kọjá pé à ń lọ kábọ̀ tó jẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe fún èmi àti yín láti tún débí lẹ́yìn láyé àtàláfíà. Àrùn fáyọ̀ bí òṣọpẹ́ nítorí pé kí ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ òjò ló ti rọ̀ tílẹ̀ ti fi mù. Ọba yìí náà ló jẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe fún gbogbo wa tó jẹ́ ká báyé lọ. Àdúpẹ́ Ọlọ́run alágbára ẹgbẹ́ pé kẹgbà yín wa. Òtún fẹ́ náà dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ẹni bí ẹni àwọn èèyàn bí èèyàn tí wọ́n ṣagbátẹrù ètò yìí, pàápàá jùlọ iléeṣẹ́ Jẹlẹ́ńkẹ́ Duchess ní tó ti ń taṣọ ìyàwó, tìyá ìyàwó, ti bàbá ìyàwó, aṣọ ọkùnrin, aṣọ obìnrin, aṣọ ọmọdé, aṣọ àgbà, gbogbo wọn tó bá fẹ́ fi ṣègbéyàwó pátápátá ó wà ní iléeṣẹ́ Jẹlẹ́ńkẹ́ Duchess. Ẹ kàn sí wọn. Wọ́n tún máa ń báyàn fi àwọn aṣọ yìí ránṣẹ́ sí gbogbo tó bá fẹ́ anywhere in the world they can send to you. Jẹlẹ́ńkẹ́ Duchess, thank you so much for your unending support. Also, I want to appreciate the amazing Celebration International Magazine. Thank you for your support every week. Celebration International Magazine, they are photographers, they have they do have their own magazine. If you want to event on a magazine, e-magazine, please contact them. And also they do photography, they do videography. If you want to hire them, please feel free to join them. Celebration International Magazine, thank you so much for your unending support. Also, I want to appreciate the amazing Blanco Concepts. They are also photographers and videographers in this event industry. One of the best, very punctual. They're always available to go anywhere in Nigeria, in the US, in the UK, anywhere. Thank you so much, Blanco Concepts. And one more time, as I always say to you, Oluwabumilemi jẹ́ aya Òṣìbẹ̀rù tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ sí Bùnmi the Royal Salaga Ìdírọ́lága Ìjókòó MC olóòtú ètò ìgbéyàwó with godly swagger. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support, for always being here. Please, as I always say every week, do me a favor. Tell people that this show had started. There's a lot for us to talk about today. You know, we started this particular episode last week, and today is the concluding part of this episode. So if you know anybody that will normally be on this show and they're not here today, tell them the show has started. Very important topic. Remind people, share the link, tell people that the show has started, and we're going to have a very beautiful conversation today. As I always say to us, you know, it's not something I can do by myself. Thank you, MC Monai. Thank you. If you're online, please say hi. Tap to say hi. Let me know you're there. Let me acknowledge those that are coming. Remind people the show has started. I know it's a busy, we're just back. A lot of people are just back to work. While I'm waiting for everybody to join us, just a reminder again that our book, The Dictionary and Idioms of Nigerian Traditional Marriage, is still selling on Amazon. So if you want to get one of these, it would be nice for you to do so. You can use it as a gift. You can use it as a gift for newlyweds, you know, or somebody that just wants to learn about Nigerian traditional marriage. Also, this one is there.
the evolution of Nigerian traditional marriage, past, present, and future. If you want to give a gift to anybody that's getting married and they are Nigerians, these are the good gifts that you can give them. Traditional wedding, past, present, and future, so that people can know how this thing started and how they are. And this also dictionaries and idioms of Nigerian traditional marriage. Okay, people. Let's talk about our event for today. Our topic for today, drum rolling. It's our topic for today is actually a continuation of what we started last week. We started it last week. We talked about parenting in the past versus now. Parenting back then and now. That's what we talked about. We spoke about a lot of things last week. It was such a long discussion. In fact, people didn't want it to end. So we are doing the part 2 of that today. You know, when it comes to parenting, you can never ever exhaust, you can't exhaust that topic. Like somebody was saying to me that this topic is supposed to be going on for the next 4 weeks, but I don't want to bore us. Parenting back in the days, and when I say back in the days, I started being alive from the 70s. How our parents raised us back in the 70s compared to the 70s, the 80s. Some people have been around since the 60s. Some people are on this show that have been around since the 60s. Some have been around since the 50s. But most of us on this show are like from the 70s, the 80s, and the early 90s. How we were being parented and compared to now. That's what we talked about last week. And we spoke about a lot of things. I just want to recap on some of the things that we talked about last week. We talked about the fact that back in the days, anybody can help to raise a child. Anybody can discipline you if you misbehave on your streets. Any adults can step in, and you will get home. You dare not tell your parents, especially if you know that you are wrong. You dare not tell your parents. We spoke about all the different kinds of ways that we were being disciplined. We mentioned a lot of ways that which we have been disciplined back in the days. Some said we were disciplined by being thoroughly beaten, and then all those beatings, we mentioned a lot of weapons of mass correction. Weapons of mass correction back in the days. If you misbehave, it's either you get koboko, or you get igbati, igbarun, ifati, all those things, or you get pankere, or you get belts, or you get rubber slippers. All different kind of weapons of mass corrections was what our parents used in our own days. Don't feel correct or don't feel put to this your medulla oblongata will come straight as soon as you get one of those slaps. We used to call it dirty slaps or backhand kind of slaps. They will straighten you, they will shape you, they will, immediately you get that slap, your brain will go back to a factory reset. So those are the things we talked about last week. We also talked about the fact that there was a joint effort. I think that proverb back then was really working, where they said it takes a whole village to raise a child. It takes a whole village to raise a child was really being put into practice back then. Because if you misbehave, I was giving an example of my own household where I grew up. Where I grew up, I had a lot of aunties. They were the association of disciplinarians. If you do anything silly, all of them will gather together to show you shege. One will be giving you slap, another one will be giving you backhand, another one will be telling you off, And then we also talked about the effect of those things on us. The effect of those discipline on us. Back then, we started an example of for example, you're supposed to go to school and you're not going to school and you're just playing around, and one adult find you. That adult will not even ask you. They will not ask your parent before they will show you Shege Pro Max, and you dare not get home to tell your parents. Those were the things those are the ways that we were raised back in the days. And then we also talked about the advantages of those strict parenting. Our parents were strict. Apart from the thorough beating they will give you for misbehaving, they will give you thorough beating. Apart from that thorough beating, they would also give you all different kinds of punishments. People were mentioning all different kinds of punishment that they used to give us back in the days. The simplest one was when they asked you to face the wall and raise up your 2 hands. and you can be there for hours, you know. And people were mentioning all different kinds of punishment that we were being, you know, we were trained with. You know, some of them, they shaping us to who we are today. They made us better. Please, if you're online, whether you're on TikTok, on Instagram, or YouTube, please feel free to join the conversation. If you have experienced this kind of discipline when you were young, please put your comments or send a request to join the show. I would like to welcome you on board to share your experience. So we also talked about how those things, they shaped us. We can, you know, we can actually survive anything. There's barely anything that a Nigerian cannot survive, or an African. That's part of the training that we received. And also we were told that we're all disciplined. We had fear of God and fear for elders. You know, we had all different kinds of, we were all, you know, very well brought up back in the days. And we also fear other people, not just our parents. We fear other adults around us. So that helped us to behave ourselves. Please feel free to interrupt if you want to say anything. And if you're joining us for, newly, please welcome on board. We are talking about parenting back in the days versus now. This user, if you are on, sir, if you're there, you can say something so that I know you're there, or you mute yourself. Yeah. So feel free to interrupt me if you're online. Back in the days, our parents really disciplined us. They didn't just discipline us. Let me mute this person. Hello, can you hear me? No, I don't think the person did not. You can unmute yourself if you want to talk. You know, they discipline us. They join hands to discipline us. In fact, as your parents are disciplining you, your uncles, aunties are also disciplining you. Neighbors, they are disciplining you. They discipline you. And then even what's it called? Teachers. Even when you get to school, teachers will still show you Shege Pro Max. So there was no escape. There was no escape. And it was so common that when we grew up now, you're talking about how we were being disciplined back in the days. You will hear somebody that grew up in places like Ibadan talking, and then somebody that grew up in Abeokuta will be saying, share your parents and my parents, did they attend the same school? Now, how is it so similar? Because it was like they all attended the same school. So we spoke about the advantages of all those thorough discipline back in the days. We spoke about them. We spoke about the fact that it helped us to, you know, help us to have common sense. We know there's consequences for whatever we do, so we are conscious of that. We were afraid to misbehave. But we also talk about the disadvantages. Some of the disadvantages is that till today, some people are still living in that trauma because some parents took it to another level. They overdid it. Some parents will beat up their children as if they are armed robbers. We started an example of people going as far as using incisions. They will cut the children and then put pepper on it just because they want to discipline them. You know, sometimes it can be too much. So we talk about that disadvantage. Also, we talk about the fact that then a lot of people could not express themselves. Whatever happened, they would just keep quiet because they are too afraid to talk. You know, so as a result of that, some so-called uncles, some so-called aunties, some so-called family members, they took advantage of a lot of people back then. They took advantage of them in so many ways, including sexual molestation. So those are the disadvantages. Now today we are moving to another a different part of this conversation. Please, if you're online and you would like to be part of this conversation, send me a request. I don't mind being interrupted. You can interrupt me. Now we are talking about in me, that has to do with parenting back in the days versus now, especially in regards to decision making. In regard to decision making, that's what we're going to be looking at today. But if you're online and you still want to talk about some of the things that we talked about last week, you still want to say one or two things about it, please feel free Let me charge this thing. Please feel free to do so.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you, sir.
Hello, yeah.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Last week, I actually missed last week. I missed last week show.
Oh.
And it was very, very painful for me to miss that topic. It's a very good topic, very interesting.
Thank you, sir.
Very, very knowledgeable topic that we should sit our children down when we are watching this type of program.
Thank
so
you,
that
sir.
they would know what we've been through and what the way we are being treated now, in particular as a parents. I can use my own as an example. When I was growing up, the way we are brought up is that we accept what our parents said, or we don't. If we don't, then there are consequences for every action. At that point in time, we felt that they are overreaching, that they are going on to have discipline us so much. But when I sat back now and I look at it, I feel that if my parents, if I've not been treated that way, I won't be where I am today. Some people will say they don't have to beat you, they don't have to do this and this to them. But that was the way our parents was brought up there. And that's the only language they understand.
They understood,
and the only language they understand, and the only disciplinary way they understand. I really remember when I was in Poly then, I used to drink a lot, and I'm very rascal, very stubborn. That day we would do a competition. We buy crates of Guinness, maybe 5. It's 3 of us, buy 5 each, or depending on the drink that you like, whether be it Guinness, Star, and older. We have to complete those cartons, 5 cartons each.
Can you imagine?
And can you remember by the time I stand up, I was staggering.
Oh,
and
wow.
with this way, I've forgotten that my father would be coming home on that day. And my father saw me dangling because if you're drunk, you've lost your senses. You won't be able to control yourself anymore, which is dangerous to our kidney, kidney, liver, and so many parts of our body. So my father saw me. When he saw me, is this not my son? When he packed, I didn't even say it, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
The first thing that he did was to give me a dirty slap, and he used his knuckle to knock me to the back of the car. And since he was driving along Federal Road, he was beating me as he was driving. You see the risk that I put my father in because I overstepped. At that point in time, he beat me until we get to our home.
Wow.
On getting there, thank God that my grandmother was still alive then. She was the one who saved me.
Wow.
That day, even with the beating, I didn't even know that anybody was beating me.
Wow.
Because I was seriously drunk. Then my grandmother appealed to my dad that please leave him. If you say anything, if you beat him now, you are just wasting your energy, you are wasting your strength.
Because he can't feel anything.
He actually begged my grandmother, and she listened, to be honest. And I went to bed. I couldn't sleep because it's as if the house was just rolling. I wasn't myself. I was vomiting as well too. So my father didn't even look at her, but my grandmother kept a tab on me. So on the 3rd day, my father didn't say anything to me on the 2nd day, so they would just look at me and just walk past me. Even if I greet him at that point in time.
He will pretend that
so on the 3rd day, no 4th day, he now called me, my grandmother, my mom, my grandmother. Then we started talking. When we talked, then he explained about life to me. Life is not about what I'm doing. With what I'm doing is a way, and it can lead to destruction. Health-wise, so many things happen. When you have a family, this is how you'll be behaving. So he talked to me about it. And since that day, I stopped drinking.
So, sir, would you say
that because of the way he talked to me, what of the way my grandmother and my mom spoke to me on that day.
Okay,
although
sir.
I received beating from him, I apologized for all my action and I decided to stop.
Okay.
Now, when you look at that, when I cast my mind back to that time,
yes,
maybe
sir.
I might not be alive today if I continue that way. Maybe I will still be alive. But you know, that type of correction at that point, he beat me, but at the same time, he spoke with me. So that is tough way of addressing the issue. But it's in this modern world, we are not allowed, particularly in this country, to do such a thing. Maybe physical something. And I said to my dad there, I said, most of the way we were treated then, if we tried in this country,
You will go to jail.
They don't tolerate that. But nevertheless, we should still find time to talk to our children. Maybe probably have a meeting with them.
Yeah.
Talk to them on a regular about life. Explain what life.
Yeah.
What responsibility they have to take in life. If they don't, you see, I always say something that you are allowed to make mistake, but don't make costly mistake. If you don't make costly mistake mistake can be dangerous, and it can set somebody back 10 years old. And by the time you realize your colleague, your mate,
they've gone far. Thank you so much, sir.
I believe in talking more, but there should be carrot and stick. Going up. You can smack them. I'm not saying use belt. I'm not saying kick them. I'm not saying, but you can smack them just as a point of correction. But don't overdo it. In our time then, most of our parents overdid it. Because you see, they'll say kneel down and say I show. Only to roll. Your head, your leg, you put your head down. Even they'll still be beating you, but you are still having that punishment. They've gone too far.
They went too far.
Dangerous. A lot of people have lost their life because of that. A lot of people have been disabled because of a lot of people today. That trauma, as you rightly said before, is still there to the extent that they cannot actually be the same person. I've seen people who uses left hand and somebody was trying to correct that person to be using right hand because they say culturally it's not good and all these issues. That person, his brain format was on the left. He's using his left hand. Leave that person, let that person. We cannot all sleep the same way on the bed. Everybody sleep the way they want to sleep. But you see, at the end of the most important thing is that you get to your destination at the appropriate time and you achieve. But I believe nowadays, more talking. And two, teach your children, if they know the way of the Lord, their problem will be minimized. I'm not saying there's not a lot there, something that distract them out there, but there's a way. If you work in unity as a family, this can be reduced because the society now is something else. But
thank you, sir.
I always pray that God should keep our children.
Amen. Amen.
That's my own little contribution.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir. Please, before you go, I just wanted to just ask a question. I know you said that, after that experience that you had with your parents, they thoroughly, beating and all of that, it did affected you and you decided to stop. But you said they also spoke to you. So which one did you think worked? Was it the beating or the time of they have conversation with you? Which one did you think worked? Which one worked better?
It's when they spoke with me. Because you see, I was drunk. Even beating me at that point, I didn't even feel that anybody was beating me. Because somebody was drunk. My body was still. It's like metal. So it's just like somebody punching the wall. As time goes on, if care is not taken, you hurt yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
Because the wall is bricks, isn't it?
Yeah.
You hurt yourself. So my dad beating me. Actually, I mean, I felt so disorientated about it. I felt so, but I didn't actually feel that it was beating me. But I can see my grandmother being agitated. Anytime my dad wanted to stand up and do something, she would come in between. And my dad would be restricted because he doesn't want to be the mom anyway. So, but because of the love my grandmother had for me then, she was able to go in and speak to my dad. I spoke to my dad for 30 minutes, spoke with my mom about that.
Okay.
Just leave it. So for those 3 days, nobody said anything to me. Even my grandmother, no, she didn't even speak to me until that drinking wear out of my body.
Okay.
That I was able to regain my composure. Even myself, I felt ashamed of what I did.
Thank you so much, sir.
Let the children actually feel guilt about the action they've taken. They now call them and talk to them. And that life is very precious and life is very short.
Yeah.
But
thank you. So shall you lie on it? Thank you so much, sir. I have one last question for you. I just wanted to ask you, if your grandmother didn't step in that day, the anger and the rage at which your dad was correcting you in quotes, what do you think could have happened? Because if there was nobody to stop him, it's probably just going to continue. What do you think could have happened? What do you think it could have been an issue if your dad had continued and if your stepmother, your grandmother did not step in? What do you think could have gone wrong?
That's a very good question. It is likely at that point it must have probably hurt me. But in wanting to hurt, my mom was there. She was stepping. All mothers, see, when men are overdoing it, they say, no, I carried this boy for 9 months. When I was going through pain, we were not there. Although he had done something wrong, but not by this beating excessively to the point of death. I was given a second chance at that point in time, and it worked.
Okay.
It worked.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you have said a lot, and I think a lot of people should take a cue from that. Back in the days, the way our parents disciplined us was good, but they overdid it at one point. MC Monai said that punishment that had no effect does no correction or change. Sometimes when punishment becomes too much or being beaten gets too much, it hardens the children. They'll just be hardened. They'll just be like, oh, they will beat me. Who cares? They don't. It doesn't bother us at one point. It didn't bother some. Some it did help them. And even though the Bible said that I don't know, someone but sometimes it's not always about beating up a child. Like you rightly said, number one, anything can go wrong if you're beating up a child in annoyance. My dad will wait until you are sleeping, and then he will come in the middle of the night, which is also very, very traumatic for some of us. So it is good to discipline children, but they did not apply the correct measure of discipline back in the day. MC Monai said, have we ever wondered how trained and disciplined children abroad are disciplined? No, now I just want to emphasize on getting children beaten when you are very angry. There was a story that happened, I think it was in Birmingham, here in the UK. The family, the father was trying to teach the boy how to recite the Quran. And I think they taught the guy is just not having a, sharp brain. So the man got angry and beat up the child. And the wife was probably trying to stop him, because sometimes these men, when they're angry, if the mother step in, they will beat both of you. They will beat both of you together. If you step in, sometimes as a mom, when your father is trying to, like one of the things that my dad will say, if you come near here, both of you will be partaker of this punishment. So sometimes mothers are scared to put mouth into matters like this, or some fathers might say that, oh, you are challenging my authority, I'm disciplining my child, and you're saying this. But most of the time, not all, but majority of the time, mothers are a little bit more lenient in the punishments they give to the children compared to fathers. And wherever the mothers are too strict, mothers can be it can be the other way around. Now, this particular story I'm telling you about, that man beat up that child, and for some reason the child died. That child couldn't make it, and obviously it went so bad that both parents are now currently in jail as I speak. So we need to be careful. It's good to discipline children. It's good. Some people believe that spare the rod, spoil the child. Fine, you can discipline a child. You can, you decide not to spare the rod. I don't know who still uses the rod nowadays, but please, we need to apply caution when we are doing that. We need to apply caution. Some of the things that I would have loved to ask that our daddy that, and I think he actually mentioned it. I was going to ask you that, looking back, what do you think? And I think he actually mentioned the fact that it really helped him. When his parents disciplined him, it helped him to shaping him to who he is today. Probably he would have turned to, something else. I don't know how many of us saw a very viral video that was going around when a judge was about to sentence a young man to sentence him to jail or something. How do you call it? And he just mentioned, he said, did you attend so and so school? And between this year and this year, and the guy was like, oh my God, because the guy looked at the judge and realized that was his classmate. You know, he just busted into tears. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sunkún ni pé yé mo gbé ọmọ class mi ni George tó ń dá ẹjọ́ tí mo fi lọ sẹ́wọ̀n fún mi. And the judge was saying, I don't know how you ended up here. You were one of the most, you know, amazing young people that I know in my class back then. What happened? What went wrong? So anything could have happened. Maybe that child was not corrected. Maybe, you know, he was being indulged. Maybe he joined bad wagon or something like that. But discipline is definitely something that we cannot underestimate. But we have to do it in love. The correction has to be done in love. It has to be done with common sense. Okay, I see what you mean, MC Mona. I said I meant how they are corrected. Yeah, you know, people still. I know people that are very, very disciplined. They are very, you know, cultured. They do everything right, and they always say to us that their parents are never. And they are very disciplined. There are certain things that you can do that can make someone to even learn better than every time bass blows. So we need to be aware of that. So thank you so much, sir, for that. Then you did mention something about your parents.
Another thing we are failing in is that not all the children will respond to discipline the way we wanted things to be. I'll give another example. When I was in school, then as I said, I was very stubborn. I just want to play football. I don't want to read any book. And very traumatic to my parents that how come you don't want to go to school? Anyway, at the end of the day, I have to go stay with my uncle. Yeah. When I got to him, this my uncle is very, very calm. Most people in the family, because of his disciplinary nature, he sat me down to take cabin biscuit and Fanta into a bottle of Coke as well. We started. He said, the first thing I will tell you, more or many things.
Know the child of whom you are.
Your parents, where you are coming from. A lot of responsibility is invested in you in life. And in so doing, there are certain things that you have to go through before you become who you want to become. You cannot become who you want to become without going through pain. In life, if you want to become a consultant, there are certain things you have faces you have to go through. These are the pain period. When you eventually finish and you are reaping the benefit, then you say, okay, thank God that I've taken this step. And that process, that is what I call the disciplinary process. In life, there's always a disciplinary process, and there's time for enjoyment. And, if you don't want to go through those disciplinary process, that is what actually led to a lot of. I told our children what we should do to create time. Most of us don't have time for them because we want to work, run out there. I'm not telling the parents not to work, not to be able to feed them, but at the same time, you have to invest in your children too. You have to be able to talk to them. Create the environment of law for them. Although they will, at times, they will go away because of the people that they talk to in their respective school. But the moment your voice started listening in their brain, in their ear, you will see them. They will begin to distance themselves from troublemaker. And you see those type of children, they have less friends. They have less friends. The moment they have less friends, then you know God is with you and you're on the winning side. In the process, they will now be able to shape your children, shape it in the proper way.
Thank you, sir.
And shape that person and your children the way you want them to become in life. And you will see it to work.
Thank you,
it's
sir.
Not just by beating, shouting.
Not always beating.
Because at times shouting too can cause problem. What's the problem? Why are you shouting at me? So that's just what I want to say.
Thank you so much, sir. Some people are appreciating you from Instagram. Somebody said, well said, sir. You know, I think the major thing here is to apply caution in whatever we do. You know, in as much as we don't want to leave your children undisciplined, you have to also be cautious of the way how and the way you discipline them. Don't just don't be too harsh, don't leave them unattended to. And I like the fact that you said that the uncle that eventually was able to correct you and put you in the right path did not hit you. He just sat you down, spoke to you, calmed you down, and be like, look, sometimes all we need is talk. In fact, there are sometimes that I would rather have somebody beat me than talk some certain thoughts into my head. There's something they will say to you that your head would reset. So it's not necessarily about beating and hitting a child. It can actually lead to anything. In fact, the worst that can happen is that you can hurt that child or even unalive that child. So we need to bear in mind that. Okay, thank you. We've been able to recap on what we talked about last week. For those who are just joining us, I don't know why everybody is quiet today. Is it because people are just back to work after Easter? By the way, I forgot to greet us happy Easter. Okay, now we're going to be moving on to the other part of this conversation, which is in the decision making. So for those who are just joining us, we are talking about parenting back in the days versus now. How our parents raised us. Those of us that were born, some were born in the 60s, in the 70s, and the 80s, and so on. So how our parents raised us compared to now is what we've been talking about since last week. Last week we spoke about all different kinds of discipline, how our parents were so strict, and then we talked about the advantages and disadvantages of that. They are being strict on us. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? We talked about when it is the way that everybody has gone out. Yes. So we talked about all different kinds of things, the beating, the punishment, and all of that. Fine, some of these things did help us to be who we are today, but a lot of it traumatized us. Also, it created so much fear that some people will be going through stuff within family members. They won't be able to tell their parents because they were too scared to tell their parents. Yes, somebody said it is weather that make everybody has gone out. The sun is out. And someone has said children will throw tantrums at a stage in life. We should always apply wisdom and apply reasonable disciplinary measure. Thank you so much, ma. This is our daddy that just called now, that just contributed. I believe he's in his 60s, so he's talking about the different things that the parents did and all of that. And I want to echo some of the things that he said as well about why some children don't even listen, and how we can help them to get better. He talked about we need to let them always have our attention, creating time for them. Some people don't create time for their children and they want them to be there. You're always working, you don't have time for them, so you don't even know how they're growing up, and then you want to impose and instill discipline on them. Low Gigi. Okay, mama, what is this? I beg. Then also talk about not just being available, invest time, create an environment of love. I love that. You need to create an environment of love for these children. So today, let's talk about today's topic. Today's topic is the same, parenting back in the days versus now, but we're not talking about the decision-making part of parenting back in the days. For example, during our own time, a lot of things that we did were what our parents wanted us to do. If anybody agree with me on that, please let me hear your yes or thumbs up. What most of the things we did back in the days were what our parents wanted. I don't think we even had the chance to make any decision by ourselves. They wanted to go to a certain school, they wanted to study certain course. Thank you. They wanted you to study certain course. They wanted you to do things certain way. In fact, I remember then they will even give us if we go and plait hair, they will say you can't change it, you dare not change it. So that is what we are talking about. So I want us to go back onto this part of the conversation and talk about how these things, what do we think about our parents insisting on what they want for us? They want us to do it a certain way. What do we think about that idea? I don't care. To the point that they will even tell you, even when we were small, They never ask us, what do you think? Do you like this? Do you want to be this? Do you want to be like? They don't even bother to ask us. They just tell us you. And back in the days, they were we were not allowed to make decisions. Simple as that.
Yeah, everything boils to the way they were brought up then. The way they were brought up is different from the way we are now. We are more sympathetic towards our children nowadays. Because if you should know your children's ability. If your children said it's going to do this course in the university, and you said to go and do another course, the course that you know that child is going to fail, that doesn't have the ability in. If you ask that child to go and do that course and the child fail, then you will be in trouble, because at the end of the day, you know this era is student loan and everything. You'll pay for school fees in whereas in the old early 80s or so, it's grand.
But our parents, sir,
they are eligible for at that point in time. But if you know, you have to know your children's ability, and you have to be able to assess them and don't enforce things. If you enforce things, if there's any issues, you will be, as a parent, to bear the brunt.
Okay, now, hello, sir. I think you're talking about, sir,
of that child.
Sir,
in our olden days,
yes,
my father said, go and be an accountant, go and do this, go and do banking, go and do that and that. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to be a social worker. So, but at that point in time, I listened to my parents. At the end of the day, I finished the course. I didn't get a job. So I will cast my mind back. If I'd known, I should have wanted to do what I wanted to do myself. But I didn't hold my parents responsible. Instead of holding them responsible, what I did quickly was to go and look for another course I can do so that I'll be able to get a job. Instead of, but children of nowadays, they will hold you responsible. They don't want to do anything. Anywhere they go, it's my mom, it's my dad. I don't want to do this course. I don't want to do that. So we should give them the opportunity to choose a course of their choice. Don't say because you want to go and do history or physiology or this and this. Where are you going to get job? You are not their God. Their God will provide for them at the appointed time. You never know whether that course, if they finish doing that course, that is what will elevate them. That is what will promote them. We come to this conclusion that you can't go and be a teacher. Teacher doesn't get paid. Well, you can't be a civil servant. You just rot in the civil. That is our assumption. But the plan of God for them is different from our own plan. They are only a caretaker. So we should give them the opportunity to choose, to contribute, have a meeting, sit down at the round table, talk it through. And at the end of the day, we have to concede some to them, give them the leeway, let them be able to make some key decisions about their life, because we are not going to be around.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
We all go one day.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Somebody is saying, Dawn of Doncaster is saying is disagreeing. She said that is the problem. We always put everything on God. Yeah, I think what I just wanted to say here is for the sake of clarity. We're looking at what our parents did back in our days. You know, when it comes to decision making. When they will say, in fact, from the what we wore, how do you say, from the hairstyle we did, from everything, our parents will insist on a particular style. They will insist on a particular whatever. They will insist that this is a course you have to study. They will insist that this is, in fact, to the point of who to marry self. So what do we, because thank you to Daddy that just spoke now. I want to hear from you, sir. Dawn of Doncaster. You know, I know God will not come down from heaven. So what do we think about our parents imposing all these things on us versus now?
Well done, ma.
Thank you so much, sir.
Well done, sir. I greet you too.
God bless you, sir.
So, I joined the live at the point where he was talking about leave them, let them do history, let them do all those courses.
Yeah.
I can say that that should not be the case,
Okay.
Because things are not stagnant, and then we should also understand that worldwide the population is increasing. Every day technology evolves. There are new things that are coming into the world, or new things that are being developed, explored. So I will say that in terms of, I have seen a couple of people in this country that I'm not sure wherever anybody is, but I'll use the country that I am as an example, UK. After I finished my studies, I studied computer science in Nigeria, but I did not have, that opportunity to work in that field. You understand? Probably because of the system, there was a lot of struggle to get work in that field. I did not work in the field of computing at all when I was in Nigeria, And then when I moved to the UK, I can as well tell you that there are people that have worked in the field, probably accountancy, because I have a couple of friends that we moved to the UK together. Accountancy, business management. They probably worked in the bank. I could remember a few of them worked in the bank. They were working as a cashier, they are customer service representative. But myself, I did not even work in any computing field. But when I moved into the UK, I moved in as a student, and I continued with my computing profession, I computing career, and then they also continued in their own respective field. I can tell you that I know it cannot always be the same for everyone, but if you look at it in all these fields that we are talking about, they are saturated. If you look at you have to be focused on how you can
how you can stand out.
Say again.
How you can stand out, yeah.
Exactly, how you can stand out.
But sir, can I interrupt
for instance,
you?
when you go on LinkedIn,
and
you see job posts,
if
you go on a post that they probably put something like maybe management or any administrative role, you see a lot of people would have applied. I'm telling you, maybe thousands of people would have applied. But there are specific courses that you see that there are just fewer people that would have applied in those roles. That's what I am trying to say.
Okay, sorry, can I interrupt you for a second, sir? Now, I love what you have just said. It's so important. And but this conversation, where this conversation is starting from. We're talking about parenting back in the days versus now. What you have said is very good. It makes sense. Now we're talking about how our parents will believe what you have just said now. And just because they believe that you're going to do better in that particular field, they will insist that that is the field you should follow. Meanwhile, this child does not have the capacity to do this particular and this child does not even have interest in this. This person wants to go to theater art or whatever, and they just see all those ones as forbidden. So, and they impose that they should go and do what they think is okay for them. So what do you think about that?
So I understand how it used to be. In my own case, it wasn't like that. I understand what you have just said.
Yeah.
Like parents trying to push their kids through. Yeah. But I think, to be honest, I think we can try to push kids towards a certain field.
Yeah.
I can tell you that it is what you tell kids that they know.
You can encourage them.
Ever since that I moved to the UK, I have at least mentored about 7 people. People that they were already living in the country. I have seen them through. A couple of them, I have made sure that they went through apprenticeship. Some I made sure they went through HND and then through to their degree. I believe that we may not need to be very good. We will just need to be a little bit above average.
Average, okay.
So we are a little bit above average. I believe we should be fine in that field.
Okay.
The goal is not to be jobless, actually.
Yeah.
The goal is to eventually be able to do something in that field.
That will be useful for you. That will make you stand out.
If we are in this kind of environment, this kind of economy, you have the chance to probably be able to. I've worked with people that I felt like these people should not be in IT. Why are you in IT? You know, because I felt like, okay, you are actually struggling with the basics, but then they are in the IT. You know, that, if those people can be in the IT, yeah, then I believe that some other people too can be. You know,
okay.
I mean, I understand that back in the days there is a way that they are doing it. You know, the way they push people to do it. You know, with probably fight and everything, but. For instance, I advised one of my nephew to say that, look, you are good, you know, you are not that excellent, but you are good, and I want you to look into the field of medicine or pharmacy.
Yeah, I think you have just done justice to the question in a way. You know, the question is how. You know, it's not even about asking people to do a particular course that is the problem here, but the way our parents went about it versus how we would have done it nowadays.
Yeah, I think that's just the problem.
I like the fact that you're saying I advised, I encouraged, I spoke to them.
When they talk about it,
we talked about it. Yes.
I would like to be very, very factual. I don't think it is worth it, especially when you are in all these countries where you can take student loan. I don't think it is worth it for you to say you are doing business administration or maybe, you know, this kind of courses.
But they need people in that field as well.
Going to do business administration. What business are you going to be administering? What business are you going to be managing? Whose business?
I think I'm coming to consult you after this show to come and tell me if I can still go back to uni at this age, because you look like you're an expert in this area. Thank you so much. Let me just allow somebody else to say something, please. If you see around, that would be nice. For those that are just joining us, we're talking about parenting back in the days versus now, how our parents would impose what they think is right on us, and how they go about it, as in it is that you do that or I disown you. Is it that you do that or you're not my child? Anyway, we're not just talking about the courses we studied or the way we did things. There's quite a number of things that our parents did. We're just taking it one after the other. Currently, we're talking about them telling us a particular career. Is it that you're a doctor, you are an engineer, or you are a lawyer? If you are not one of those things, then you are nobody. They forget that all these areas also need whatever. Agaga to ba say you want to do business, you don't want to kawe. Kemostik, it's so good to have you here, sis. Thank you, Temitope Sikiru. Somebody said, let me read the comment on Instagram. Ooh, what happened? Somebody said my friend's daughter studied pharmacology for her mom, and after 4 years went to do her own course for another 4 years, making 8 years, and eventually did not get a job, but now went back to work with mom. Kai, Lord have mercy. You know, this is what we are saying. Somebody said went to work with her mom's choice, and now a pharmacist. Okay, I was going to go to that point as well, where I can ask that our parents, are they always right? Are they always right? You know, I also wanted to say, sometimes do they really see ahead of us? You know, because like this example now, the person will be like, I told you, you went to go and waste time, and then you came back to the one I told you. And then somebody said every parent wants the best for their children, but nowadays we just advise and pray for them, and we won't be too pushy. I think sometimes, a lot of times, the parents would also be rebellious if the parents are being fussy. Somebody said it's a pride for the parents, for the children to be in certain profession. They make such decisions because of their own self-interest and boast about it. I was going to get there. What are the reasons behind these decisions that our parents are making on our behalf? That's another thing. Are they making it because they think it's the best for us, or they are making it because of their own ego, or they are making it so that they can show off in front of their friends, or they are making it so that, you know, I don't even know. Some people would even say, I'm a doctor, so every of my child should be in the medical line. If you're not doing medicine, I will disown you. You're not my child. You're not this, you're not that. Is it supposed to be like that? You know, those are the things that we're looking at today. Please, if you're on TikTok, feel free to unmute yourself, and if you have any contribution or have an experience, please feel free to do so. I remember a lot of hello sir. Hello sir. Hello sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You see, I'll go back to what our parents know. In the olden day, when I say olden day, when we were growing up, our parents, they have this, or our father, our father in particular, they have this bragging right. In this, when I say bragging right, if one of their friends' children is a medical doctor, or he has gone to law school, or this, they will want you to do the same, to go to law school, or to be an accountant, or to be an economist, or to be a banker.
To go and show off.
So, because they believe when they all meet, when they are talking, everybody can brag. And at the same time, apart from that too, in that time too, they also want their children to go to private school, private primary school, private secondary school. So before going to, even they have a choice of university that they want their children to go to. University of Ife, Ibadan, and Lagos. Those are the elite universities. So if your children is going to University of Ilorin, if you credit and respect to University of Ilorin, another system, you will see them the way they won't be able to say much about their children. You will still be putting pressure on their children. Why don't you leave that and go to Ibadan, go to this or go to that, so that you can go and do this course? It's the pressure that is being put. Good environment for the children, because their brain will be scattered. Okay, I wanted to do this, and your parents is telling you to do that. Eventually, because of the pressure that your parents is under, it's not that is willingly coming from that report because of the group they belong to. So that's all what I wanted to say. But if that's children now say, I'm not going to be an accountant or medical doctor, the parents will find it very strange. They will be behaving to that child in one way. I've seen some parents, because the children go against the cousin, they don't talk to that children.
Can you imagine?
They are not interested.
That is an extreme.
Anymore. So that's the level of pressure that the children will be facing at that point in time, which is not good.
It's very bad. That's very bad. Thank you so much, sir. Now, somebody said every parent wants the best for their children. Okay, I think I read that comment before. Now, looking at the reason behind why our parents will insist on a particular kind of career or course or whatever, looking at the reason behind it, you just said it also. Majority of the time, the reason behind it is for their own whatever. They want to brag. They have this bragging culture. They want to brag in front of my friend. Do you know that my daughter is a medical doctor? You know that my son is an engineer? You know that, these are not good reasons for you not to want. Fine, those courses they are quite prestigious. But so are theater arts, so are whatever. In fact, there are some courses that you will say you want to do, they will disown you. You want to do fine art. For what? We need to let people be who they want to be. I know that a lot of parents, for instance, I would particularly want my children to be in certain professions. But if they say they don't want to do it, why are we imposing it on them? Why? The bragging culture, the reason behind it. We just want people to see us as, mama doctor, mama lawyer, what happened to all other professions? Every profession has, they have their, I know somebody that studied medicine, and today she's selling wosi. And I'm telling you, she's earning 3 times more than she would have been earning as a medical doctor. So I'm not saying that people should not go, they should not be educated. I'm not saying that people should just go and settle for anyhow courses. But I think it would be nice for parents to discuss this thing with their children rather than imposing it on them, and to the point of saying, Mama, disown me, I'm going to disown you. You're not my child. You cannot study medicine. You cannot study, if you're not a medical doctor, you're not an engineer, and you're not whatever, then you're not my child. That is to an extreme. That is just too much. It's not supposed to be like that. So I hope that parents, nowadays are doing better, because back in the days it was so bad that in fact they want and like you said also, if you didn't go to University of Ibadan, you didn't go to University of Ife, then you're a dollar. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. Now let's move from the way they choose career for us to the way they also want to choose other things like relationship. Back in the days, parents also, they take over your relationship, and I just want to, I don't understand. They tell you not to marry from certain tribe, They tell you, I don't like this person. They tell you, marry someone who is this. You know, there's a lot of things they say. Now, is it okay for parents to take control about who to marry? Is it okay? Is there something okay or wrong with parents insisting that this is the type of person I want you to marry and this is the person I want you to marry? Or when you bring your choice of life partner, they just practically reject that person because they already have a particular picture in mind. Okay, please, if you're on TikTok, unmute yourself and talk to me. Is there anything wrong in parents insisting that you have to marry from a particular a particular kind of person? They want who you marry to fit their description of an ideal wife or husband. Somebody said, we are talking about the reason why parents insist that you have to do a particular course, you have to study a particular course or go to a particular university. Somebody said sometimes it might not be bragging, but to look for lucrative courses to get a good job. Well, every other job has to be done by someone. It's good, but if that child does not have the capacity, what do we do? If I don't say it's not okay, but they know better sometimes. Thank you. It's not okay to force people to I think that's what this person is trying to say. It is not okay to force people to marry your choice as a parent, but sometimes they know better. I agree with you, sir, because they say that what an elder will see while they are seated. If a child will climb an iroko tree, you probably will not even see that thing. So I agree with you. To a very reasonable extent, they know better. They know better. They can see ahead of times and all of that. And if we look at the Bible as well, there's a lot of people in the Bible. I think one story that stands out is the story of Samson, who was asked not to marry from a particular tribe, but okay, you know what, I'm going to marry this person anyway, I don't care. And that was who ended him. So sometimes the parents can see ahead, of course, that's so true. But sometimes that they also get it wrong. Do we agree with that? Are there times that our parents get it wrong when they insist that you have to marry from a particular place or a particular person, or they reject the person you have? Can they be wrong? Is it possible for the parents to be wrong as well? In as much as sometimes they know better. At that time that the parents can be wrong. Let's talk about that. Mommy Luca said back in the days, they will go and check on the problem of generational causes affecting that family. In fact, go back in the days, they did back. You don't even have a say on who to marry. They marry wife for husband. They marry husband for wife. And I don't think we had problems back in the days. A lot of marriages succeeded. They survived. But nowadays, any little thing, I beg, do your own, make I do my own. But let me ask you, on a more serious note, are parents always right when they say no? You never find husband though. Like one of the Nigerian popular actress, she said, once your parents say if you bring somebody home and your parents say, oh, how are you, and they greet the person, they say in fact, that's it. They're going to tell you inside that don't try it, so this was not okay for you. Somebody, Mommy John Lucas says, sometimes knowing about their family saves a lot of heartaches that people are facing now. Hey, Iroyayo, she said, and they can be wrong because tide do turn many times. Yeah, sometimes they can be wrong, but Mommy Lucas said 90% of the times they are right. A lot of times the parents may be right, and things have changed. Even back in the day, there are choices that our parents made that are not so fantastic at the end of the day. But because of the culture and the tradition and everything back then, you are not even allowed to leave. Once you are there, you just stay there, they endure. They suffer. They tolerate whatever comes your way because it is an agreement between both parents. Now, also, back in the days, parents make marital decisions for somebody based on a lot of things. Let's talk about all those things. They make marital decisions for you based on religion, which probably I wouldn't be happy if my child would go and marry outside my faith. You understand? They make decisions based on religion, but that thing can be right and also can go wrong. Let's talk about other things that they make decisions based on. They will say you're not from the same tribe. They can say that. They can say that you're not from the same tribe, And I don't know, being from the same tribe, does it always make marriage work? Coming from the same hometown, coming from the same street does not 100% guarantee that a marriage will work. But I don't know. Our parents will say no. And talk about, yeah, thank you. They talk about status, they talk about religion, they talk about how wealthy that person is as well. Thank you, Mommy Joanna Luko. These are the things that our parents will see and say, no, I don't want you to go near this person because I don't like their status. We are here and they are there, so you can't marry that person. Ejo, can I ask, is there a good reason to discourage somebody from marrying from marrying a particular person when you're looking at the status? We to these ones, is that a good reason? I think we've done this topic a long time ago as well. That was the only thing we discussed, because there are good reasons why parents will say no, and there are also bad reasons. Religion, I'm a Muslim, I don't want to marry a Christian. I'm a Christian, I don't want to marry a Muslim. I'm a Christian, I wouldn't want my child to go and marry a pagan. So obviously religion is a big deal. So it's there's quite a lot of things that causes parents to insist that you cannot go in that particular direction in terms of marriage. And like Mumuluko said, 90% of the time they are right. 90%, not always. We've seen where parents would say don't, and then you end up losing a very good man or woman. They are not always right. That's what we want to say. But as far as I'm concerned, most of the time they are right. And even children of now, they will not even wait for you to choose for them. They've already made their choices. Can we say that this is the reason why we have a lot of failed marriages nowadays? Yeah, tribe. Yes, tribe. Some people will say, I can't imagine you marrying an Igbo person. I can't imagine my child marrying from this particular tribe and all of that. So, and, I don't know. I just don't know. Are these good reasons, for parents to say, no, you can't marry this person? Back in the days, they will insist. Compared to now, they won't even ask you. They'll just bring the person home. Somebody said, Ilela woke up to some Yes, HTV London event. Yes, sometimes you need to check who these people are and all of that before you agree for your child to go into it. So basically, I think from what I'm getting from everybody now, Ejo, get it wrong, correct me. From what I'm getting from everybody now, so we want to believe that the style of our parents, having a say in the kind of person we want to marry, and not having a say, I think what we are saying is that it is better and safer, and it is more likely to be successful when your parents put mouth for who you want to marry. And if they said I should not marry a particular person, they must have seen something and they mean it. Let's talk about some of the selfish reasons though. There are some selfish reasons though. It's not as if the person is not good though. It's not as if the person is not whatever. But there are some selfish reasons why parents will say you can't marry this person. Can we talk about those selfish reasons before we move on? Hey, Kemosti, God bless you, ma'am.
All right, ma'am. You're looking sweet.
Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'm really enjoying you.
We are learning style from you.
Thank you, sis. God bless you. Thank you for always. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, sis. God bless you.
Well, I would say that Yoruba people has an adage that says that see your mother àwọn àgbà ló máa mọ ibi tó máa wó sí. Ní àgbà tó bá ní foresight o, orí ẹ̀ pé o, because àwọn àgbà tó rí ẹ̀ pé wọ́n kàn sọ fún ẹ pé wrong place ní igi máa wó sí, igi á kàn wó parí tọ̀. So, what I just want to say is that, those decisions that our parents made in those days, they were tough ones. They were tough decisions. And most of the decisions, anyway, I would say 60%. Because if we have to look at all those things, their guidelines and things that we have to follow, then we will know that it sort of shape us in a way.
Yeah.
So it's just that those decisions they made, or they are.
Let's mute you for a second, sis. Lady B, let's mute you for a second. When you want to talk, you unmute yourself, man. Go on.
Or should I say there are rules and regulations there? They're just kind of structures, that we have to follow. Some may not necessarily be right, because some parents have led their children astray.
Yeah.
In terms of marriage, in terms of choosing professions and stuff like that. I remember I did not go to university. I went to Polytechnic. And the reason why I did not go to university, our parents will contribute, you see. Osu people then, because we are indigenous of Agowe, so you have rights. I said, no, I don't want it, because me, lost Osu, because I'm Osu. They don't run it in Osu. And I remember one man saying that, Poly in the Wawa, the way he looked at me like
you're an outcast.
But you send one for you,
exactly.
Yeah. That does not determine your success in life. But our parents want to show off.
Yeah. There is a bragging culture. Yeah, there is a bragging culture.
Mommy, she started this course. Mommy, clinical engineering, medical doctor, Some people, because they are doctors, they want their children to be doctors as well. And the children don't have the academia capability for being a doctor. And they will force them to go and be a doctor, and at the end of the day, they will drop out or they will change courses and they will cause trouble. However, it's not that our parents cannot guide us. I think their guidance have shaped us a lot. That's quite understandable. It's different from this age that we are now. Not that we will totally leave our children to it. They have their choices, but it is still our responsibility to support their choices.
Yeah.
One of my children says she wants to go and do a certain course in the university. Apology, what's that?
And there are so many courses now that we are not even familiar with.
I'm like, you can't do this.
Sorry, Kemosik. During our own days as well, everything was streamlined. It was almost like there were just only 3 or 4 courses. It's either you're a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer, or a banker. Anything outside that, we don't even bother to know. Because this anthropology you're talking about, during my own time in the UI, we had it too. Archaeology and anthropology. Yes, we had the Department of Archaeology and Anthropology.
Not that anthropology or we want you to law, your A level, you are doing law. And we started law. Now you finish your A level, what you change is so that in that case, you have to step in and guide them like, okay. It's not that this course is not, but the one thing that I now ask is that, okay, tell me, what are the reasons? What made you change? What made you change your mind from doing law to whatever this course that you have chosen? And, excuse me, ma,
wow.
At the end of it all, money, okay, carry on.
Wow. She knows exactly why she wanted to go for it.
The reason why she wanted to do it, the reason why
That's good. At least she has a reason. I want more. They don't understand. They're just doing it. Yes, yes, they still have it.
Because the job market is not saturated. The reason how much you can earn and what you can do in those field. At the end of the money, okay, what's that? Even though to change my idea.
I'm on la.
What's more concern we can't leave them to it. Totally.
You can't. You have to guide them.
Cannot leave these children to it totally. If not, they will make wrong choices.
Ben, you're right.
As she must support choice or not, okay. Right. Okay, if you think this one thing I will encourage parents doing is that ask them the reason. What reasons? What made you change, or what is the reason for doing this? Because I think Sherry, but our feelings, all these parental feelings, I think they are natural. One of my girls was asking me the other day, I don't care if you want, whichever tribe you want to marry, no problem. And she came on and said, "Oh, Mom, what if I want to marry a Muslim?"
Ah, Jesus. I'm on la. You know the other time when I just to buttress your point, the other time when I was watching the movie and I was talking about, hey, come on, be Muslim, I don't live. My other was like, Mommy, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Money says who? Oh deep about there. Oh deep. They will tell you that it's not that deep.
That's what they were saying now, but it's not that deep. It's not that deep. What's it called? What's it called?
Àfikọ́lọ̀ ń ṣàánú wa o. Who do we have on that has a good? Talani, okay, Shazmi.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's our champion in the background. That boy is one of the.
I just wanted to buttress Kenostic point. I'll be out quickly. It's a very, very valid point. Parents, most times, it is very, very important for parents to put their mouth in our choices of either education or marriage. And I will tell you from experience. Like me, my father was a medical doctor. Go and make daddy downstairs. My father was a medical doctor.
Our little champion. Anyways,
you cannot rule out parental decisions.
My father was a medical doctor. When I was growing up, he wanted our 9 from my father. Well, let me say 5:30. That by the time he in school, he wanted all of us to go into medicine. And the reason why our parents do that is so that you can succeed them.
You can carry on their legacy.
Like, why must I do what you're doing? Well, science student in me, and I wasn't the best, but I was more than above average. And my dad believed so much in me. Because we had ambulance on my parents. He would send me to just go and pack up without being a doctor or a nurse. He's trained all of us to know how to give injection because he had so many auxiliary nurses around him that he was training. So as long as you are my father's child, you will know certain things, how to dress wound, how to suture wound, how to give injections, and but he wanted us desperately to go. But because the many favorite surgery, what if I medicine here? I pursued university, I wanted to do accounting. Not because it's math, so science student, not because I know it, but I just don't want to go in my daddy's line. Because my house is very close to Lutz. Okay, Lutz, daddy maniki magbalelo, mo fe se omo girl. I went to Ogunpoli. Oloshe ND. But see me make sure it didn't pay for my tuition. I saw myself through school from ND. Well, I would say I saw myself through. Mom, see me help me, leg back on. But won't punish me. I'm not going to give you that luxury that you had. So one of the days, a girl passed by my street. Very tiny, chinkily, and petite, size 6+8, yeah. Mori nurse's uniform, long way. Mori Nightingale hats, Lori. I'm like, where do you work? Only I don't work. I'm a student nurse. Nibo, Ola road. Ibo ni yawa one koi. Can you please go home with me? I hear she died by a much of kidnapping. You know. She went home with me. When I was hospital in LA, I showed her to my dad. Daddy, okay, I don't want to do medicine. And daddy made me say, pass Jambo, if you wanted you to go into any university, because he was the secretary for Nigeria Medical Association as at then. You know, so I didn't want to go to university. I feel if any carry over or anything. He was so excited when I took the girl away. She nursing daddy. And he was like, okay, fair enough. Oh, she medicine, she nursing. You know. And as at the time, form to close, year 1. Ordinary complimentary card, one by Mrs. School. I started it. I did that nursing. I was working with him, you know. But later regret, let me cut the long story short. I later regretted it that I didn't go for medicine. I went for accounting. I did it, but I did HND. I can't go, Papa. But eventually, I realized I love that medical line more than the accounting, because zero the minimum maths, but I was just struggling that I would pull it through. Having the certificate will harm me because we have legal doctors, we have LOE. Some of us at any legal practitioners, at any accountants, nursing, accounting, and all of that. So the long and short of this story is that when my father passed on, none of us, none, not even one. He had 4 hospitals in 4 different locations. And when Biwa Beresine me equipment, because he studied abroad. So we had foreign equipment. You know, if I had been a doctor, what's it be? I didn't do my childhood in Nigeria. But if I had been a doctor, I wouldn't have stayed in Ilu. I would have gone back home
and be able to carry on the legacy.
Now the hospital is dead. My first cousin that became a medical doctor, equipment he eventually traveled abroad as well. He's in the US. But it's on me dalori pe. More regrets in I would have
if you knew better. Yeah.
Good leverage for me. Me need anybody. And our siblings, I will just be giving them what they are entitled to. But as a nurse, I couldn't handle that. As a nurse, why? Because I am still going to, by law, employ a medical doctor that will still be over me. Even though it's emergency or whatever. So sometimes when parents say they know what they have invested in. So my help gone.
Thank you so much, Ma, for sharing that, because I have written down here that why children choose versus why parents choose. For example, when you choose a particular course or whatever to study or whatever, what are the reasons behind it, and what are the reasons that your parents want you to do that? Sometimes
to carry on the legacy.
Sometimes one of it is for you to carry on the legacy. And let me not lie to you, a lot of times we children will choose this thing because that is what is convenient. Sometimes the parent can see the potential. I'm going to quickly tell you my own story as well. When from day one, I'd always wanted to be a broadcaster of some sort, and I've always been debating. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, panel of justice, whatever. He was in we were in the same secondary school and all of that. I'd never ever been shy to face the crowd. I was a prefect, and I would address this whole school without any fear. So I studied, I passed German. I went to State Polytechnic, like Sister Boki said, to go and study mass communication. That's what I had always wanted to do. But my eldest brother believed that I was not a product of Polytechnic for some reason. He believed that you're too brilliant for polytechnic. I don't know why. And he was saying to me, and I don't want you to go to a state university. I want you to go to a federal university and stuff like that. I said, Kenny, I'm okay here. I'm okay here. Nobody should come and be telling me to come and go to. My brother insisted. I hated him for that. But later I thank him, just to buttress what Bukilisho said. I eventually took JAMB again, and I went to University of Ibadan to go and study communication and language arts, which is like a wider range of mass comm that I was doing. The exposure and all of that, the opportunity was a lot there. So what I'm bringing out of it is the fact that sometimes when we make choices as young people, why some young people make choices could be for the wrongest reason. And that's why I like what Kemosik said. When she said, okay, you want to go and do this course. Me, I don't like it. But give me reason. Why do you want to go and do it? And she said, by the end of the conversation, she was just like, okay, I think you know exactly what you're doing. Go and do it. Some children, you will ask them, why do you want to go and do this course? They'll be like, hey, mom, because my friends go to that uni. Because my friends were in that uni. Because it's convenient. Because it's easy. Because it's what's available. Those are not good enough reasons for anybody to choose any course or to even want to settle down with anybody. Because we're talking about choosing careers and also choosing who to marry. Why our parents will insist on their choices for us, and we get offended or we think what they are saying is not right. I saw a clip recently on Oriyomi Hamzat. A young lady was arguing with her mom, and with Oriyomi Hamzat, saying, I am 18 and above, so I know exactly what I want. He insisted that she wants to be married to a particular.
Whatever she brings to the parents
is what they should accept. This guy was arguing, this guy was even quoting Constitution. She said, according to the Constitution of Nigeria, Section 2 verse Section 3. Because this guy that you're following was there. Everybody can see that this guy is not good for you. The parents was just like a Bamilo or more. So sometimes our parents, they see what we cannot see. Sometimes also children choose based on love. They will say love is blind, but marriage is the eye opener. A lot of people would have been saved from whatever they think they're doing now if they had listened to their parents. Parents cannot always be right, but most of the time they are right. Like Mostik said earlier, what parents will see while they are lying down. If you climb an Iroko tree, you will probably not see it. Now, we have to also now understand that we don't impose it. One of the reasons why children will rebel, they will purposely rebel against your choice, is the way you go about it. It's either you take that or I disown you. The children will be like, okay, if that's what you want, that's fine. I'm still online, I'm using this phone as well. So if you insist, please send me request to join on Instagram. I think she's trying to leave a message, or you join me on TikTok, please. Now, when parents want to go about, they have to go about it the right way. Don't impose it. Don't be like, it's either you do this or I disown you. Don't threaten them. Don't make them feel like they can't make decisions of their own as well. You can sit them down and let them understand a lot of things. So ayé ti kọjá ìgbà pé tó bá ti ṣe fẹ́ nú mi ò ṣe ìyá ẹ̀ mọ́. Àwọn ọmọ sí àti pé tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe ìyá mi kẹ́ má ṣe ìyá mi, ìyá pọ̀ ń gbòòrò ń lẹ́mọ̀. They will not even think about it. They will just move on. So parents, please, let's bear that in mind. A lot of people have lost their children just because of this simple thing that we're talking about. I know children that don't talk to their parents today, because of the choice of marriage, they will just say, no, I'm off. And also sometimes parents are not always right. There's this Wunmi Toyola's movie, The Tyrant. This girl didn't want to go with this guy because obviously the guy was an abuser. The guy was, all sorts. But the mom was insisting that she should stay with this particular man because she has been through 3 different marriages with she has 3 children for 3 different men. So she's
because of her past experience.
Yes.
She thought that's her life.
Yeah. So the only reason
she didn't give the
lady the chance to.
Exactly. The only reason she want this lady to marry this man is because má jẹ́ kó máa bú mi, àwọn ayé máa ní owó ìyá gbọ́n lọ́mọ ràn. Those are not good reasons. I beg. If Aye want to talk, let Aye talk, you know. So sometimes as well, when the reason does not make sense, the children will rebel. They'll be like, hey, I'm not doing, I'm not gonna let you, you know, put me through what you've been through. So it also depends on the reasons behind this. Then this idea of as long as you're living under my roof, I know what's best for you is good. But you don't always know what is best for them. No, give them chance.
Sometimes, even sometimes, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes,
sometimes we are not always
we
are not always right.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So
yes.
We don't have to do talk. We have to direct them and pray for them. I pray that God should also give them direction so they don't make wrong decisions. But it's not a do or die. I feel like
yeah.
What if you are wrong?
Exactly.
You cannot always know the best for you cannot always tell me what is the best for me. I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah. I think this is a matter of control versus guidance.
Yeah, there's difference between controlling somebody and guiding somebody.
Yes.
Yes. So if you are guiding them, you have to give them the reason why you think that thing is the appropriate thing for them to do.
Yes.
Rather than saying, okay, why? Okay, mommy, why are you saying I should do this? No excuse, no reasons, no nothing to confirm your decision. So I was confused, like, do you really even know what you are saying? And these children of nowadays, one thing I realized from them is that they like to do what they love. Even at work. They like to work where they are free, where they are comfortable. But they don't like things like that. They want to be comfortable around people they work with. They want to be happy. They want to be able to express themselves. Exactly. They don't care about the money. In fact, they prefer not to go to work. They prefer not to have a job than struggling at job.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
We are quite different, and it was because of the way we were
brought up.
We were brought up. The way we were. It's different from these kids of nowadays, either abroad kids or even Nigerian kids. Generally, I
was in Nigeria. Go.
It does not matter where they're located. They know what they want. You cannot choose for them. You cannot choose for them. B, C, D, E, F, G.
Benny. And they even know they know a lot of things that we are not even aware of. They know a lot because they are exposed to social media. They see what other people are doing. They know a lot that we think they do. Unlike our own days, based on a lot of them know a lot. You know, I think the bottom line here is, please, parents, you know, we need to understand that we should not put what I would call control in disguise. That we are in disguise as we love these children. Sometimes we are too controlling. We want to be in charge of everything, including their wedding. That's why you see those of us that do this job of alaga or whatever, you will hear these young people telling us, it's my wedding, mom, not yours. The parents want to dictate what they wear. Back in the days, our parents would do our wedding the way they wanted. We hardly have mouths. We hardly have say. What our parents want is what we will follow. My daddy wants there to be 100 guests. It's none of my business. You know, back in the days, they choose the yasho, they choose everything for us. They hardly give us chance to even contribute to it, which is, you know, a lot of people are no longer allowing that. You know, nowadays you see those children saying, no, mom, it's my wedding and I want it a certain way. You know, this is not them being rebellious or being rude or being disobedient. We need to carry them along, and also we need to meet at the point. What I just don't want is extreme cases where you will see young people saying, mommy, if you don't do it my way, then you're not going to be at my wedding. That's just not right. You know?
That's too much.
Yeah.
So we have to.
Yes. Kamosik, it's mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said we have to balance it. We have to balance protection and freedom.
Benny.
So I just continue. So in as much as we are trying to protect these children, we have to give them their own freedom of expression as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have to know when to draw the line. Uncle, please, you can unmute yourself, sir. If you want to say anything, you're free to interrupt me. So we need to know when to draw the line. We need to know there's a difference between guidance and manipulation, as we have said. We need to know that there's a difference between love and disguised control. Let me put it that way. A lot of parents say, "A minimum be you can't know more than me." You'll be surprised how much these children know nowadays. You know, and the children also, you have to be able to do it in a respectful way. Like the young people, if any young person is watching me here, you need to learn to pass your message across to your parents in a polite way. A lot of times, why parents would insist as well is because of the way the child goes about it. You know, you just talk to your parent, look your parent straight in the face and say, like, "Mom, it's either you take it my way or you forget about it." You know, you need to learn to turn parents' choices down without being disrespectful. You know, you have to acknowledge, you know, at least before you disagree with them, at least acknowledge the love, the genuine love and everything that they've done. You can say, "Mom, Dad, I truly appreciate your concern and everything you've done for me. But this one, please, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be, you need to also be clear and be calm." Some people, they're asking you why they went, "Mommy, it doesn't matter. Does it really matter why? Does it matter why? I just don't want it that way. I just don't want." No, you don't talk like that. You have to be able to be calm to explain to your parents. You don't have to be disrespectful. You cannot be dismissing their own feelings as well. You know, you can be clear enough to say, "Mommy, I've thought about it. This is real. Please don't be rude." No parents will like that. In as much as we love you to be confident and be able to stand up for yourself, no parents will appreciate you being rude. So if you're a young person watching this, please, if you want to pass your message across your parent that you don't like a particular suggestion of the choice of marriage or career or even your wedding type, the way you want your wedding done, you have to do it in a respectful way. Then you have to also show responsibility. "Okay, Mommy, this is my plan. This is what I've worked on. This is what I've looked out for," and blah blah. Being responsible also earns you respect. For instance, when my daughter wanted to do medicine before, I was so excited. "Hey, Mama doctor, Mama lawyer, she just woke up one day and said she doesn't want to do medicine anymore. I was not like, "Why?" And then she explained her reasons. I was like, "Okay, no problem. I'll have to support you in whatever you are doing." So because she was able to be responsible enough to explain to me and everything, it was easy for me to let go. Then we know that our parents did not know boundaries, to the point that our parents were so controlling that even after you are married, they will be coming to your mind to come and be dictating and be telling you, putting mouth in all this. Our parents were that involved. They were that intrusive, or what do I call it? And children of nowadays obviously don't want that. You can set boundaries respectfully without being disrespectful to your parents. You can let them know that you do value their opinion, but would like to make decisions myself and my spouse. In fact, decisions myself and my spouse here. I think we need it. Our generation suffered a lot in the hands of our so-called extended families and all. Just because a husband wants to respect his family or wants to respect his parents, your wife will be suffering in silence. You can't say anything because you're being. I don't sign up for stuff like that. I am not a party to that. So I thank God that children of nowadays are setting boundaries and they are insisting on what they want for their spouse. You can let them know in a very nice way. Then one thing again I want to say, please, younger people, be patient. Be patient with us. You brought this particular thing to us and we're saying no, you're expecting me to respond right away. "Mommy, it's either you have to agree today or you forget about it." Give me time to also process it. We need time to process it. In as much as we know that you need to decide on what you want for yourself, you need to also give us that. You need to be patient. Some parents need time to adjust, especially, some of us already have it at the back of our mind for a very long time that this is the way things are going to be. Also you need to learn to prove to your parent that this thing will result in good. It will result, "Mommy, don't worry, it will be good. Yeah, you will see. I'm reassuring you, all will be well," and blah blah blah. Now I want to say this an example. One of my friends has her son. get a new new apartment with his fiancée. And then she went there and said, can I help you do this? Can I help you do that? The young lady, she went as far as saying, I have some new duvet at home. I have some of this. Can I bring it to you? I have this in at home. Can I bring it to you? And this, my friend, her own son is the boy. So the lady politely said, Mom, thank you so much, ma'am. I like the duvet. They look nice. But I have a picture of how I want my bedroom to look like. So I'm going to have to say no thank you. Number one, I think that's a very good way of handling it. You didn't just collect the duvet and go and keep it somewhere and say, Kene. And then the mom as well, she gladly said, okay, no problem. Thank you for letting me know. And she took her duvet back. In our own days, they're not born you well. They're not born you well. They will say, me, I'm giving you something. You are turning it down. They will just twist it. In our own days, you will have been forced to have those things. As simple as it is, that you're not happy with it, you'll be forced to wear it or to use it. So it's about approach. If I may say it, our children of nowadays, they will choose themselves. They will choose themselves over anything. So wrong approaches is to be rude or to be cutting parents. Some people say, Mom, well, if you don't want to see me, that's it, and they will cut their parents off. That's very, very wrong. Purposely choosing wrong thing just to spite your parent is totally wrong. Ignoring wise counsel completely, knowing that this is wise, is totally wrong. Telling them that I am now grown, no matter how grown you are, your parents are still your parents. Or some people now go to the extent of calling their parents out openly in public. Although our parents you don't come on public space to come and embarrass your parents or embarrass your family to say, my mom is doing that, mom is doing that. Let's just leave everything in the hand of God. And I want to close on this note. Parents that are overprotective over their children, they're not doing them any good. That, my friend, at one point, she would tell me, Moses lost all Lakwaja, Mobakon, Baboni Kile, Wakakiri. Kile and Wakiri. But what you are aware of when you pay the Wato Mommy and Mawamo. I jokingly say to mothers of grooms when I do traditional wedding, Mommy, I know you will go and visit them once in a while, you share, but I know that you also stay your husband's house. We don't want to be seeing you all the time. Let us live our own life. Let's learn from our own mistakes. Let's just, be ourselves. So, parents who wrap their children up in tissue.
Interrupt you, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, ma.
Yes, ma'am. Go on, ma'am. I can hear you.
Parents are protective, always choosing their children.
Benny Mongbo. Benny Mongbo, I can hear you. Sis, I can hear you. Mongbo. Kemosik Mongbo, Angbo, we can hear you. What about you, Boa?
Oh, okay. Sorry, not to connect, Mama, to me,
Mongbo.
Money, what you just mentioned about overprotecting parents, but especially mothers. That's why some men are having problems in their relationship. What they call them,
mommy's boys.
Every little thing. They cannot even make their own. They cannot even make their own
decisions. Yeah.
Every little thing. Let me confirm with my mom. Every little thing. Let me confirm with my mom. When they now get married, they will be having problems with their wives because they will be comparing their wives to their children. Their wives to
their mom.
To their parents, to their mother. That's why they have problems in their relationship.
Yeah.
Parents are like that. You are not doing those children any good.
Then
you are doing them more
harm than good. Yeah.
Because Osini will always come back to them when they want to be independent. That's why they find so hard independent, and that's why they will have problems if they are married.
Yeah.
So we have to be very, very careful.
Yeah.
We have to be protective, not that we, like I said earlier, not that we leave them to it totally, but we have to be mindful and bear in mind.
And also, let them explore.
Yes, it's different from the way we were brought up. So we should leave sentiment aside, and we should face reality. Let them have freedom of it. If any child is able to convince me, that's fine. You know, when I said I was having a discussion, what got me most is that at the end of it, she said, "Mom, if I do this course, you will be so proud of me."
Oh, bless.
And, yes, and that got me. She said, "You will be so proud of me." And this took me back to a conversation I was having with my senior friend. Mommy is about close to 70. In fact, the husband just turned 70 last week. So they're my friends in our village here. She's a nurse and the husband is a doctor. So she was telling me about their second child. That she said she wanted to do. We were talking about journalism. This man, the Ristoba, is their friend. So he came from Nigeria. So he stayed with them for a while. I was not saying that Ristoba was one of my
favorite screen gods.
Yeah. So we were talking about journalism generally. And we were talking about how, different forces are coming up now, guys. I've not even heard of them before and stuff like that. So I said that. So we spoke about my elder daughter, and she said, that these children, what they need is encouragement. That their second daughter, when she wanted to go to university, she said she wanted to go and study fashion journalism. And imagine a doctor.
That's a nice course. That's the kind of thing I would love to do.
Imagine a doctor's child saying fashion journalism. Auntie was not saying, Kenny, I've never heard of that before. I don't even know whether such course exists.
They are the fashion police. Those that go to all these premieres and all these awards, and it's good.
The long and short of the story is that they supported her anyways.
I don't have a choice.
Okay, you carry on. She did first degree, and they were advising her about going for going for masters. And this, she said, masters for what? You want to be telling your friends that I've just done my masters? My course does not need masters. It needs training and upgrading.
Exactly. That's what that guy was talking about earlier. About another thing is everybody must go for degree. Why some people all they need is apprenticeship. All they need is just I remember when I got here, I wanted to go and study event planning in the University of Community. Do you have to have events if you want to explore whatever, explore into something else, not events. What those people, those people don't know 1/10 of it. The fact that it's not on paper, And recently I helped a particular graduating set of students who were graduating for event planning in the University of East London. They wanted me to put them through. They came to me and I had to put them through. So sometimes we don't even appreciate what we have just because it's not on paper and all of that. So experience
the kind of society and environment we're coming from.
Yeah.
Motivation, nothing.
Out again, ma.
I remember when I was in secondary school, I could write yes, ma'am.
I just want to put my mouth in something. Okay. In this part of the world that we are, or better, Kamajeki, we should allow our kids to do whatever. In the last 1 week or two, I have been struggling to get a carpenter, a joinery. And in this country, it's a cost on its own. In Nigeria, carpenter, but less privileged. But they are making money in this country. I cried my eyes out. Thank God for ETO IGBEYAWO. My first son, he went to university. Second year, he came home. Auntie Bumi, you ma fe kawe mo. Blah blah blah. Efisile, Tobaya. To the glory of God now, he works with the Northern Line, engineering, but he is. Apprenticeship, apprenticeship, learning on the job, going for courses, and I want to watch it on the university. Only one supervise.
She said if she had known, she would not go to university.
Oh no. Honestly, thank God for ETO IGBEYAWO. I almost run mental. But all of a sudden.
That for the glory of God is earning than some degree holders now.
So in this country, Tomobani mom, I just want to learn carpentry. I want to be following somebody. Tobaya Agba level 2, level 3, level certificates. Gas and Kiniko, they earn more than medical doctor. I'm following a lady on Instagram. Her name is Dr. Baker in this country. Medical doctor, GP, no, she works in NHS anyway. She suddenly went to China. She furnished her house herself. She went to China, she bought everything. And now she realized that all these years she's been in the medical school, working in the NHS, screening. After tax, everybody was like, that is robbery, broad day robbery. She earns like £2,800 as a medical doctor after tax. Story alone. Senior you know. Now she went to China, bought all her things, and she now bought some things. What is she websites? Baker's something. She sells wigs. She sells in a month. This lady now broke down everything she made as a businesswoman because she's a content creator. So she learned her wig, her bag, designer bags and everything. Just on wigs alone, she made profit of £20,000 in a month. As a medical doctor, she's still doing her medical job. 2,800 to your loan.
But it's just unfortunate that nowadays it's not about that. There's a lot of people that left, whatever they're doing. When I used to do complete events before I, reduced my workload, sometimes I wonder if I said to myself, I would never work for anybody. Because event was doing good then before all this Iruwa went into it. So obviously you have to know what you want. That's one. Another thing is you're earning a lot.
Sometimes we should channel our children to go and do at the moment.
There's a learn how to have a handwork.
A trade,
It helps a lot.
Honestly. And then another thing is
your salary will not. You can't pay your bills with your salary.
Yeah. Okay. And apart from the money as well, how excited are you when it's time to go to work?
Exactly. And that's one major thing these children are all about. They want to do what they love to do.
Yeah. A lot of people are working, they are earning good, but they are not happy. Benny. Hello, me were happy.
They don't care about money. They're not like us that we just be rubbing everything in. All in the name of try getting salary.
Benny. So at the end of the day, the person will not be fulfilled. Anyways, exactly. It's so important that we need to let them express themselves, as you have said, guiding them along the line.
In fact, I'm a sucker for English and that's one to command to me nice. Some of them are not technical college, so it's CCQ. Me, my boy, I'm not saying that. I'm not CCQ. That's when you do the CCQ, you have one certificate that you'll be able to travel and come and work here. These people that are doing engineering, that are doing craft, whatever. University in Dubai. And those are the technical colleges that we have in Nigeria that we are not making use of. I don't think a single technical college exists in Nigeria anymore.
I don't even know. I remember that time there used to be, they used to have, in fact, they used to have the uniform and all of that. I don't know if it still existed. It's still existing. But as we are saying now, this is to tell us that sometimes, for instance, I also set my own example. When I moved to the UK newly, the first thing I did was to go and learn how to do balloon artistry. I went to.
And the one in Nigeria as well.
Yeah, I went to go and do balloon artistry from Colatex. And then after I learned how to do balloon, I went to go and do makeup and gele. In fact, I went to go and learn gele when gele was not popular. I started making gele for people. And then also, I said that, you cannot be doing gele. You can't do it in isolation. So I went to go and learn makeup as well. And in fact, before gele and makeup became this popular, I made my money, clean money out of it, and I will still do other stuff, do events and all of that. So as I was still in control of my time, I only take jobs that are convenient for me. I was in control of my time. I was earning good. So I tell her where Nikki, Tony J. But having said that, if you are the type that love office work, please let's allow our children to explore. Let's allow them to be themselves. That is the bone of contention in this place. That's what we are trying to talk about today. Please, parents, because you're a medical doctor, does not necessarily that your child has to be a medical doctor. If anyone of them is interested, let them follow suit. If not, let them be who they want to be, as long as they have good reasons for it. And we're talking about being overprotective is not good. Also, being underprotective is not good. I know parents that are very, very carefree. Very, very carefree. They don't care. They don't care where the child goes. They don't care where the child comes. They don't look at the money. Both, you have to balance things. You can't be overprotective. Also, you can't be underprotective. Let's guide them. Let's lead them. Let's allow them to be who they are. And let's do everything within ourselves to make sure that they make it. And when we want to convince them to do whatever, let's do it in a nice and polite way. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been a tremendous time and conversation. I'm just quickly going to talk about the Abalakinishi. It's a long message. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to paraphrase it. There's a particular person, that's a woman, that says she has been noticing that there's something not so right about her husband for so long. She has done everything to not put anything in her head. But eventually she went out one day, and when she came back, she found out that her husband and his best friend, not the woman's best friend though, the man's best friend, were caught in bed. And this woman has been married to this man for like 15 years. He caught her husband and his bestie of life, that they've known each other for years. Their children know they know each other. The wives know each other. She caught the man in bed with her husband, and she was not like, people, what do I do? It's not even they saw her and she saw them, and they started begging, sorry, how long has this been going on? And they said it's been going on for a while. Imagine a woman having to be careful. I don't even know. Yeah, this is not a form story up. It's something that happened. She caught her husband.
It happens now. We know now that it happens.
Yeah, she caught her husband.
Maybe somebody was saying it on Instagram the other day that 70% of Nigerian men.
How did we get here? So that woman is now like, what do I do? Should I waka? Should I? She doesn't even know. So this is Abalakini Kinshi. What would you have this kind of woman do? Personally, so these days we don't even know. The woman is saying what should she do? If you were there, what would you have this woman do? What would you have me Abalakini? Let's quickly do this.
It depends on individual preference. She's been with the man for 15 years. The question is, she knows what she will do. Does she want to stay in the marriage? Can she cope? Because for 15 years, her husband has been bisexual. Oh, you're no furo. Ontibo punani. Oh, side come. So, it's because she knows. Now that you know, do you want to stay yourself? because this is an individual answer. Maduro. You know, some of them would have a negotiation. Okay, you're
somebody
doing this.
Somebody said that we work.
You can't cope. Live completely. I would not sin against God. Now that I know if I stay, it is aiding and abetting. If rapture comes, we are both going to.
It's not even about rapture. Infection, go.
At last 15 years,
Sometimes when you don't even know, don't hurt. See, sometimes. But it's so kinky. Let's hey, that's another thing. That's another thing.
That is why you see so many couples when they fight, because they can't really say.
Somebody said, I like this vocalicious. She will say it as it is. But Shawari got to watch Shelley. If that woman keep quiet, she's in danger.
One auntie is saying that we waka.
Yeah. Now, if this woman keep quiet, she's in more danger than if she speaks, because they wouldn't want that secret. They would not want that secret out, and because they don't want that secret out, they can get rid of her. When the power starts, so that I'm put there about after that when you look what John told you alone. How did we get here? Thank you. Someone said I will leave both of them to it. Now, infection is more worrisome. Now another thing I want to now ask is, 15 years of labor, 15 years of, thank you, Pebbles and Coco. 15 years of Bugwe. 15 years. Then another thing is, don't forget, so.
That is why you see so many couples, they are separated, but they will refuse
in your corner,
to tell anybody.
Somebody said, I want for my dear life. No, another thing is, remember that there are children involved. How do I explain this to the children? It's a very dirty and
Yes, some people would have agreed. I'm going to leave you. I'm not going to say anything. But it's just, so that's why you hear a couple who keep telling you it's just not working.
Ben, we have a lot of couple that will just say it's not working. It's just not working.
They will just tell themselves. I watched one of these famous Nigerian Nollywood artists recently. 2 days ago, Ibuku Doyle.
Yeah. Only none of your business.
It's none of your business.
It's a shame.
They don't want it out there. I'll keep your secret. I'll keep telling people it's not working just to protect their children back. Because me, go into our parents.
Oh my eight one. Really embarrassing.
Another child would know how even to go the same paths. Popsi now, so what's the biggie? So to protect their children, to choose
it's a very messy. It's a very messy, very messy. That's one of the worst experiences that anybody can ever be through. And I think, as everybody has said, God forbid, if I find myself in that situation, I would definitely take a walk. It's tough, it's deeper than that. And it will be better for that person to speak out straight away, not just take a walk. You need to speak out. You need to at least talk about it. Confine in a few people and let them know that you're already spoken. Because some of us so dangerous. Get rid. I don't know what is really going on nowadays. Oh, Lord have mercy on us. Anyways, we pray that I don't even know. It's a very terrible thing. I don't know what it is about this, sex of a thing that people are so crazy about it. How did we get here? You know, days of Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't this bad. Have you even heard a case where the person was cheating with the wife's male sibling? You know, was cheating with the wife's male sibling. I've heard about that case as well, where the person that the husband was cheating with was the wife's male sibling. It was that bad, and it's happening nowadays so much. It's so crazy. I don't know how we find ourselves in this kind of situation. I'm just hoping and praying that people will change for the better. And nowadays you can't even talk. They will say, Kenny, assistant Jesus, mind your business. In these days where people actually exonerate bad behaviors, they make the bad people look good, and they make the good people look bad. You will see people in the comment section supporting evil, you know, openly saying it's a big deal, and all of that. I just pray that God will help us. Finally, I was going to talk about a trending video of two ladies that were fighting themselves in a public event, and then and I got to know eventually that the two ladies were actually fighting for a man, the wife, the married wife to the man, and the side chick. The side chick came to the same event. Whatever happened, it led to a fight, and they both were beating each other up in somebody's event. I was going to say, if you were the wife, would you have, I don't know what really happened, but I don't know what transpired, but they fought themselves. Don't fashion on a party. As a woman, if you find out that your spouse or your husband had invited a side chick to an event that you attended or something, would you confront them? If they confront you, would you rather walk away or engage in an argument with them? What would you do? You know, I just want us to close on that note, because that thing is really trending. And unfortunately,
why would you fight at someone else's party?
Yeah,
that's disgraceful and disgusting behavior.
And the sad thing now is we can see the two women's face. We can't see the man's face. The man is not going to be there.
The man's face.
You know,
social media.
I think
I've learned something from this show in particular. Like the Bible will say, do not be equally yoked with unbeliever. Me, I'm waiting on the few you know, community, we shouldn't just be gathered, you should learn one thing or the other. What I have learned on this show, from everybody, especially the Olotu, is that phrase, let it stick on your head. Social media allower, nobody would see whatever the other party has done to you. One any quarrel, one fabere gwen, they will insult your mother, they will do all sorts. The moment somebody aggravates anger, once they get you to the peak, they set camera on you. And you'll raise your hand. Problem tibere. They will edit it. One man here evangelist and prophetess you will now be trending for the wrong reason.
Exactly.
But you will now sit down in your closet and it is only your family because mommy calm down, we know. But you have disgraced your children. I know her is
Lagbaja's mommy.
Mirabel's mom. Is because you know, so a quarter for Cornwall, me pay my bank. So much me lo shelesi. Side chiko be wasi party me or party don't invite you was sitting mo pade ende. Timatiri put shori bruku. Tell me you pe bon. Baje me atoko mi lajo wasi be. Ti mi ba le gba kokoro moto lowo e ki ma lo. Ma gbe Uber abi ki nbe ore mi kan. So that you know, I'll just leave the same for them. Because once it's out there on social media,
you cannot retrieve it. You can't retrieve it. Somebody was saying that the mommy Oniko said the wife should have the wife should not have come so low. Hey, it should have come so low. Just walk away. The man will walk away and leave them both to it. the wife should just walk away. Somebody, no, side chick. Then mommy, no, it's not. I think we're talking about two different ones though. This one happened recently. We are Jetta. Somebody is on. He said, I will never confront anyone. I would rather walk away. Team hair, team green, I think team pink. No, I
mean
Okay.
So you can't see what be moment I want to don't be like it, but X Lenny TB. So one year I need to be low of week where we only ran I go. Or be one to trigger.
Wow.
Wow. But whatever the case may be, number one, if I were the celebrant, I would not have anything to do with both of them in my life.
Honestly.
I would not have anything to do with them. So we have to learn how to control ourselves.
You know, yeah. Unfortunately, your calling you know, that's why I always say to people, let me tell you something. It is better that people call you a fool. I've seen things, I have seen things. You know, I know someone that honestly, a lot of people have found themselves in this kind of predicament just because I know it is tough. Please, I'm not judging this particular person. I don't know who is at fault. And the fact that somebody is a side chick does not mean that the person will be the one at fault.
No, but none of them, nobody was a side chick. Then the ex,
no, side chick. As far as I'm concerned, if you're not married to the man currently, what are you doing? I don't understand. But if they both know the celebrant, they have every right to be in the
to be there. That's why some people were
but my
inviting, you know, exes, concubines, side chick and main chick.
Yeah, I know someone that her husband has like a business, and then the wife was there, and then the side chick, baby mama, so to speak, turned up into that same event and started being funny to the wife, and that's what the person has always done anyway. It's someone I know very well. That's what the woman has always done, you know, taunting because the wife is the quiet one and this person is the wife is always staying away from trouble. So on this occasion, the side chick turned up, the baby mama turned up and started being funny to this woman. Everybody wanted the woman to fight. People were saying, the lady was like,
no, to those that know me, so not generally.
Exactly. So this person, yeah, I told the wife, exactly, people around were telling me, hey, side chick, number one, video. Apart from that, I've seen a lot of videos. I posted a few ones on my status recently. One person, I don't know who they were. That's another thing that one has to look at. Either budget side chick ni ogunde, so that's why I will never ever engage in any kind of, I will just walk away. You understand? Well, talking about this, I know there's a limit to human endurance. Maybe the woman has been provoked and blah blah blah, but please, one should try as much as possible to walk away from any drama. You know, like MC when I say, how will you know if your guest is ex or side chick? You know, anyway, at the end of the day, just walk away for your own dignity, for your sanity. It can be. I know some girls that purposely go and look for trouble. Wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ti dira sí abẹ́. Ẹni tó fẹ́ lọ wá trouble ẹ̀ kò ní mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti dira. Ìyẹn kọ̀ máa lọ ń tiẹ̀. Wọ́n kọ̀ máa ya ṣọ́mẹ́ lọ́rùn, wọ́n máa rìn ẹ́ ní òwò. Wọ́n kọ̀ máa ṣe fíìmù ẹ̀ wọ́n gbé ẹ síta. You know, and we've seen it now. There was one that happened in Dagenham not too long, about 2 years ago. Till today, we don't even know the man. That's number two. Any man that have a wife and still have something to do with side chick or ex or whatever, and you cannot protect your wife's space from the side chick or the ex or whatever, that man is not worth fighting over. That man is not worth fighting over. That's one thing I always say. If any man is cheating on me, I would never fight over you. Never. It's not worth fighting, because at the end of the day, this man is not an Olympic medal. Olympic gold medal. They fight. And now they fight le lori. And to the dignity in the first place. And this thing gives men wings, though. You know how they feel when they say, idiots, man. Who the hell do you think you are? I will not even, pardon my language, I will not even look at you twice. If I always say, if my husband cheats today or carry anybody.
Sometimes celebrants also need to know, just like you said, just like Mystic said, the celebrant always knows both parties, especially in this situation to get okay. Celebrants always need to know. Okay, this person, we know in the same circle. Let the current one knows that because there was a party we went some time ago with my husband. So one of his friends, to see separates, they invited him and his current wife. The first thing he asked is, "Ti uncle yebe pe se pe lagbaja o de ni ìyàwó mi ti pe uncle yede pe ọkọ mi pe baba mi ò ní lè lọ."
I will not. Yeah, that's a man. I wouldn't want my ex to be under the same roof with any, you know.
Because anything can happen. Situation may arise. Exactly.
Ọ̀dẹ̀ máa ń wájà o.
They just want to give.
No, Kẹ̀mọ́sí kì í kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ wípé nígbà míì tẹ́ bá mọ àwọn méjèèjì rí ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ fẹ́ dá sáàárín wọn ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ kò sí kan tó kàn yín pé mo mọ àwọn méjèèjì rí Táyé òṣèlú Kẹ́hìndé òṣèlú.
Exactly. Because we have the situation like that at hand now.
You can't be close to both of them at the same time equally. O máa ní control to ní more relationship with. Maybe ọkọ ló mọ̀ gangan. Definitely o ti mọ̀ ọkọ gangan. Maybe ex ló ti close, but you've had long-term relationship with her. Invite the ex and forget the current ọkọ. Uncle Agbada mi lè pè yín torí mi fẹ́ kí ìyàwó yín wá síbẹ̀. Lóòótọ́ èmi àti Bukky o, àmọ́ra o, a máa sọ̀rọ̀ o. But ọ̀rẹ́ mi ni ex kò ti pè é.
Ó make sense.
Exactly. Ó ṣàlàyé. I don't want situations or ọ̀rẹ́ má bínú. Mo ti pè Uncle Agbada, ó dẹ̀ likely kó mú ìyàwó ẹ̀ wá. Èmi àti ẹ àní kọ́lọ̀ máa ṣe wá lónìí nǹkan kan.
Ó make sense.
I don't think that is ex. Tójú ọ̀rẹ́ mi máa ṣe. I will be there for her. Kó lè mọ̀ pé kò ṣe pé mo favour ẹni tí.
But because àwọn míì wọ́n yàwó ẹ̀ wọ́n níbo àwọn akílọ́kọ̀ mi ní oníwẹ̀gbẹ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn kan wà bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn then tẹ́niyẹn bá wá by force, that's on her.
So after the party tí Lágbájá bá wá ń bá mi jà because mi ní jẹ́ kó bá ṣe dé ọ̀dọ̀ ẹ̀ tó bá wá ń bá mi jà bá ní má bínú torí mo ti kọ́kọ́ pe ọkọ ẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ kó bá wá pẹ̀lú ìyá Lágbájá.
Ó ga o, kọ́lọ̀ ń ṣàánú o.
Àwọn ọlọ́kàn bàjẹ́ àwọn exes máa ń wà pọ̀ náà àwọn kò tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ex-wife wọ́n tiẹ̀ fẹ́ wọn legally méjì.
Kí ló tiẹ̀ kàn mí? But ìgbà míì tá bá ti pé kí ló kàn mí yẹn náà tí èèyàn bá sọ pé òun ò ní lọ bá sòpá sùn tí àsìkò bá báyàwó èèyàn sùn kọ́ ẹlòmíì lè lóhùn ọjà àwọn náà máa wá báyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni the best bẹ́ẹ̀ ni òun ni MC Monite sọ yìí wọ́n ní live for your own dignity and self-respect. You don't fight over any man even if the person is a king or president. Anyways, Shetiri, some of these things, to be fair, they are easier said than done. But if one is already has the subconscious, we pay one be go see it will come me. Only Bukky so a lot of situations. even apart from ex, apart from boyfriend, apart from girlfriend, apart from yawo, koko, yawo. Even we talked about it in the other day when we were talking about how to handle fellow alagas in any relationship. It could even be anybody. This person is provoking you on purpose. A colleague.
Sorry, ma. Let me give you a very, very good example. This is not a matter of ex, okay? We're childhood friend. She wedding. Mo uncle wedding. Another of our friend, tell me about Solomo. Ọ̀rẹ́ wa tó ṣe wedding yẹn náà ò bá sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́, but ó ní torí òun ti fẹ́ pastor, òun make up pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, wàhálà tí yín nìyẹn, adult nìyẹn. But we met there. Gbogbo bí ṣe ń ṣiṣẹ́ ló mọ́ mi lójú. Ló ṣe oríṣiríṣi sí mi.
Àwọn kan wà bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ṣe mọ̀, àwọn kan wà bẹ́ẹ̀ troublemakers.
Àwọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta alájọ dàgbà, you know. A dẹ̀ ti fall out nìyẹn. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé the Egyptian you saw yesterday lọ́rọ̀ èmi àti ọ̀rẹ́ mi yìí. We shall see no more. I have forgiven now, whatever, you know, but a childish, party, and so being shame microphone, Danny, mo make sure I involved her, I included her in every activity to share when I had the power of microphone. As soon as I dropped the mic, in particular, who is in the garden, and imagine a party, what if so, but I know I had to protect my name, my husband's name, my brand.
And also for the respect of the celebrants.
Yeah,
you have to respect the celebrants.
I wanted to stay for the reception and everything because, of course, one events. As soon as I drop microphone by, I left.
You know your best get about Nigerian for in mind now. You say you don't bully me, come out so. He's just being very stupid and childish. Anyways, I think the best thing is my own take every time, even though don't come down to their level. I've seen fellow alagas that have been very, very mean on stage. I've seen fellow MCs, I've seen fellow event planners. Exactly. Some people they don't know you. Before they even come to the event, what you plan, what you share. Some of them will come to me afterwards and say, meet the royals. And your court is often and they were coming with what they have bought. You know. So, and some people they have baggage, they have what they are carrying. And people they say, I don't get any. So best thing is don't involve, don't give them that luxury, because they enjoy the, it's like a pig that likes to be in the mud, and then you let them come on you and you're wearing white. That's just my take. If it's going to get to a point where you cannot tolerate it anymore, just walk away nicely. It's been a fantastic evening, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't even know we were going to spend this much time today. I'm so grateful to everybody. Chemostic, I'm particularly grateful to you, Bukilicious, Mommy Joanna Lukon, that I didn't know that joined earlier, MC Monai. For people to come on this show every Tuesday and participate, it means the world to me. There are some people that are on this platform tonight that have not said a word, but I can tell that they are there, because we have quite a number of people here. I'm so grateful for your support every week and I just want to thank you so much that tonight we have succeeded in having episode 299. And next Tuesday, we're going to be celebrating episode 300. So we are coming to celebrate next Tuesday by God's grace. We're going to be doing a lot of throwbacks and flashbacks of what we've done, what we are doing, what we can do better. It's been beautiful. Some people have been part of this journey right from day one. I'm just grateful to everybody, and I just want to thank you. And also, please, when you're coming next week, come with suggestions. Come with what you think we can do better. come and support me. Just come and, you know, sometimes when I get here and I don't see people, I get discouraged. But I remember the few people that come, I don't want to disappoint them. You know, there was a day I didn't turn up. People were calling me, Imbolewa, Imbolewa. I'm like, but people didn't see it. I'm so grateful. So next Sunday we're going to be celebrating episode 300 by the grace of God. So thank you so much, everybody. Again, Moshima so fun wa ni ose ose.
Èmi ká ṣe wá o kì í ṣọ́.
Wọ́n ní kí ni ká ṣe wá.
Ti jogi.
Ebiripo.
Èmi á ṣe kọ̀kọ̀ rẹ̀.
Ebiripo. And kí ló ti ń pè? Sister Buki, I'm surprised I did not mention Ekuru because I know you can be like that. Anyways, thank you so much.
I ordered the kuru this afternoon, as you can. I ordered the kuru from someone.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe máa sọ fún wa ní ọ̀sẹ̀ wípé ó máa ń wọ́n ní ká jẹran pẹ́ lẹ́nu. Àmọ́ ó fana fún òun náà ni kì í gbà fún wa. Tó bẹ́ẹ̀ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, Yorùbá náà ni wọ́n lọ tí wọ́n bọ̀ tí wọ́n pè wípé kì í dùn kó pọ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kì í pọ̀ kó dùn. Ṣókí báyìí òun lọ bẹ oge. A ò ní rí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lórí ètò lénìí. Èmi Olúwabími aya Òṣìbẹ̀rù ni mo wá fásìkò yìí dágbére fún gbogbo wa wípé lílọ ni mo tuntun ti ń lọ yìí. Ogun ó lọ kò dé kò ní bá mi. Ogun ó dé kò bá wọn kò ní jẹ́ tiyín láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Mo gbà ní àdúrà pé ayọ̀ ìdùnnú, àlàáfíà àti ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ tí mo fi yín sílẹ̀ ní, òun náà ni màá tún padà wá bá yín lọ́jọ́ mẹ́jọ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Wọ́n ní fi yín ṣàwátì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní fi èmi náà ṣàwátì. Lórí yìí máa ti máa sọ fún gbogbo wa wípé láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o. Mo ní láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o. Ẹ̀yin ò ní forígún, èmi ò ní fẹsẹ̀ kọ o. Mọ́tò yòówù ká lè wọ̀ kò ní forí sọ̀gì o. Láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé. Láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next week by the grace of God. Hey, I'm Simona. I love you, that quest. Mommy John Oluko, thank you, man. Delicious Kemosi, Uncle Afro, everybody. Thank you. Hey. Kí lorúkọ ètò náà?
Traditional wedding, ètò ìgbéyàwó tó kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n. Traditional wedding.
Ṣé ti gbọ́? Ètò traditional wedding ó lọ lọ́wọ́. Ó yá gídẹ̀. Kí lorúkọ ètò náà?
Traditional wedding, ètò ìgbéyàwó tó kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n. Traditional wedding. Every Tuesday on Instagram. Every Tuesday on Facebook. 6 p.m. UK time. Every Tuesday on Facebook. Ètò ìgbéyàwó.
Every Tuesday on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó fúnni lóye. Let's talk
Traditional wedding. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next week by the special grace of God. God bless you. Bye.